unless San Jose is willing to keep half, which to this point, they haven't shown a willingness apparently to keep more than 20%, unless San Jose is willing to keep half. You can't realistically pull the trigger on a deal like this. There's no way to work it around. We just talked ourselves into the pretzel of, okay, if your big guns want better puck movers, you go get Karlsson. But you can only get Karlsson if you trade Tyson Barrie. So now you're sacrificing one of your good puck movers to get a better puck mover, but you're giving up 3 first-round picks. Like, it's just...
What a puzzle.
It is.
It's unsolvable. This is why Ken Holland gets paid the big bucks.
If Erik Karlsson was a rental, I said this Sunday, if Karlsson was a rental, sign me up. Because the Sharks would keep half, you'd trade Puljujarvi in one deal, Foegele in another, you'd have your money, and you'd have Erik Karlsson. But it's the fact that the Sharks aren't going to keep half because he has 4 more years. Also, half of Erik Karlsson's lower body is metal, or it's been reconstructed somehow. He's a bionicle.
You should also think about this. Think about it for a moment from San Jose's perspective. And there's 4 years left in this contract. So let's say if the Oilers needed them to retain 40% or whatever to get it down to $6.5 or $7 million. The math's not correct. I'm doing it on the fly. But imagine Mike Greer, who's a new GM in the league, going to the owner of the Sharks and saying, I need you to pay Erik Karlsson, the guy who's going to win the Norris Trophy this year, $5-6 million a year for the next 4 years to play against us in the division.
After he went to his owner this summer and said, I'm paying Brent Burns, a fan favorite, $2.7 million for the next 3 years to play against us.
All that for what? Late round picks and Tyson Barrie? Like, you're going to pick 27th, 29th, and 30th over the next 3 years, and you also get Tyson Barrie? Like, what's the point of that?
So if Mike Greer is going to do it, you better believe he wants 2 to 3 first-round picks to get this thing done. It's just not happening, folks. Like, I would put the percentage at 5% that this deal's done.
So difficult. I think everyone would want Erik Karlsson here, obviously. That's maybe even a stupid point, but it's so difficult to get done. I mean, if they get it done and we look back at it and it's like, okay, well, that was actually like not bad. Like, sure, but I just don't know how it gets done.
Yeah. Also, Aaron, can you just flash up the stats again for Erik Karlsson? I want his last couple of years up to make another point here. And it's that he is having an unbelievable season. The resurgence is great. And part of it is probably because he's not sharing power play duties and all that stuff with a guy like Brent Burns. But last year, 35 points in 50 games. Year before that, 22 points in 52 games. Year before that, 40 points, but only 3 goals? 6 goals in 56 games? Like, this guy has had a couple of years now where he's not Norris Trophy Erik Karlsson. In fact, he was liability level Erik Karlsson.
He hasn't got a Norris Trophy vote since his first year in San Jose. And that was an injury-riddled season where he put up 45 points, 53 games. Yep. Finished 15th in Norris Trophy voting. He was great in the playoffs, but he hasn't been a full season Norris Trophy player since Ottawa. Not considering this year.
So do you want to commit to 4 more years of this guy, and he'll be expensive when he's had 1 bounce back season? And again, at the wrong side of 30 years old, with a body that has been through a lot. He's played a lot of hockey, over 700 career NHL games. Are you going to commit to that guy for the next 4 years at a premium cap hit of $7 to $8 million?
Consider the LTIR.
Sure. And maybe that's something where if the Oilers have a chance to chat with him, Karlsson says, I only got like 2 more years left in the tank, right? And then I'm done.
This
I'm
year
pulling
next,
the plug.
And he retires and just gets paid LTIR money.
Also right on cue for Leon Draisaitl to get an extension if that happens.
That's what they would need, right? Because Draisaitl's 2 more years after this one?
Yeah.
So you have Karlsson on the books for those 2 contracts?
There's so many factors in this that just don't play out well for the Oilers, besides the fact that Erik Karlsson is an elite hockey player, which is really what should stand above all.
It's
but
a
just
cap world.
Everything else, it's like it just doesn't add up because you're moving arguably your best defenseman overall this season.
Yeah.
Maybe a forward that nobody is even wanted at all just for a cap dump, or does that just become Yamamoto instead of Puljujarvi? And then 2 or 3 first-round picks. I don't know, but
you're paying a premium.
Cup, does it matter?
So I wanted to get to that point too, because Nicholas Nelson says in the chat, yeah, but if we get EK and we win the cup, do we care? No, you wouldn't. But if you get Erik Karlsson and don't win the Stanley Cup, what are you doing? It's just people seem to think that the Oilers are magically 1 defenseman away from being the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm here to tell you they're not.